Marlow came to us with an interesting research challenge to look at how their process was operating and try and make it more efficient.
The KTP aims was to produce the proteome database for corn fermentation, which is basically to understand what's happening inside the big fermenter, where Marlow produced the mycoprotein for corn production.
The company undertook a KTP principally because it gave us access to equipment and technologies that we don't have in-house. It gave us insight into how we run our fermentations at Quorn, and it gave us that insight at a very deep level in terms of the proteomics. It's not work we would have been able to have done in-house, so we definitely needed experts out of house to guide us and to help us on that. The most important part of this partnership has been Nanda herself, I think, both in the role as a KTP, but then subsequently employed by the company as our lead analytical scientist. The data that she's generated, though, has given us a huge insight into what's happening in our fermentations over a 30-day window.
As an academic, it's given me great opportunities to interact with Marlow, but it's more than that, that's for the university as a whole. So it's allowed my colleagues and I to build a longer-term relationship with Quorn and Marlow. It's impacted on future research opportunities. So there's much broader benefits that resulted from the KTP than we originally envisaged from the KTP objectives themselves.
Well, the benefits of Nanda's role and Nanda's position, I think, are that we now have a full-time analytical team of two FTEs, two full-time employees. That's probably going to grow next year and double in size. We are becoming much more data-driven in our problem solving on site. Obviously what we do is fairly unique still, but it's also very challenging running 150,000 litre fermentation vessels non-stop 24/7 for 30 days at a time. And so analytical insight into what's happening in that dynamic environment is very valuable when you have to make decisions in an hour, 2-hour time frame to save a run that might reflect tens of thousands of pounds of financial input.
In this project, I learned from more in depth into that proteomics world, if you like to say that. So, like, I learned from the very basic, like how to turn on the instrument, which I've never done before, and how to understand how troubleshooting it, to operating it, prepare the samples, get the data, translate the data, and also turn that complicated data into something valuable for the company.